Hello. Hello, everybody in Dancing Jaguar world. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you. I am Ava Goulet, for those of you who have not met me. And I am here with my dear friend and spirit camp teacher, Linda Huitt. And I would love to have Linda share a little bit with you about who she is and where she is, and a little bit about what she does. So welcome, Linda.
Well, thank you so much, Ava, and I am so happy that you invited me to this interview. As Ava said, I'm Linda Huitt. I am a light worker. I am located in what light worker means. I help people to basically find their light, find their spirit within, and heal their energy, find their empowerment. I'm located in Buxton, Maine, and I also work with clients virtually through Zoom from around the world. I have clients over in England. I have clients in South America. Most of my clients are fairly local, but I work with everybody or anybody from anywhere that has an internet connection. And the way I support my clients in returning to a state of joy, returning to a state of empowerment is through private energy sessions using integrated energy therapy, Reiki, and a few others. I also do empathic Akashic record readings. I run a lot of different empowerment type workshops. I also do certification training in integrated energy therapy and in Kundalini Reiki. And I coach. I'm a life coach. I became a life coach at the request of one of my healing clients who said, "Gee, Linda, I'm telling everybody you're my coach anyway. Will you just start coaching me officially?" And so that's my story. I love what I get to do every day with my clients. They include adults going through some sort of shift or transition in life, but they also include clients of the four-legged variety and the winged variety. I love working with pets, and they include children. And I think that's primarily what we're here to talk about today, right, Ava? The kids.
Yes. And Linda is a certified spirit camp teacher, and she will be hosting a spirit camp in the Southern Maine area this summer. And the children in Southern Maine are really blessed to have her as their teacher because she does an awesome job of really connecting with and supporting the children as they explore who they are. So, would you tell us a little bit about where your spirit camp is located and when and the times and all that good stuff and how people might be able to find it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am so lucky that my friend Ava connected me with the Unity Church in Windham, Maine. So that location, it's on a river road in Windham, but it's really right on the line between Windham and Westbrook, Windham, Portland. So very, very convenient to the greater Portland community, Southern Maine community. And it's a wonderful facility, lots of comfortable indoor space, but also they have a beautiful yard for the kids to play in, and also for us to go out and connect in nature. They have a oh my gosh, I'm losing the name of the word for the maze.
The
Ava,
labyrinth.
labyrinth. Thank you.
Yes.
They have a lovely labyrinth that we can walk, and with Spirit Camp, Ava has created a nice module to teach children mindfulness when we walk through the labyrinth. So we have all of that. This is my third year teaching at that venue. And it's a wonderful, wonderful space. So the dates are Monday through Friday, June 19th through the 23rd. The camp runs from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. So typically parents drop their kids off 15 to 30 minutes before and pick them up pretty much when camp ends each day, but within a half hour after camp ending each day. And so that's the location. I offer early bird pricing for people that register at least a month in advance, and a deeper discount if you register at least 2 months in advance. So if you register by April 20th, you'll get a really good discount. So let's see, do we want to talk about what we do in Camp Ava, or do your viewers
Sure.
know?
Sure. Before you do that, I just want to mention to anybody who might be listening right now that we will be posting the links for your contact information in the comment section immediately after we have this conversation. So people will be able to find you really easily. And if you are watching now our live interview, please let us know, place a comment in the comment section. And if you have any questions, I will be sure to read them to Linda. So go ahead, Linda, and tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing with the kids at Spirit Camp.
Sure. So we learn about energy by feeling energy. We learn about working with crystals and chakras and how to feel their chakras, how to protect their energy by closing their chakras and then opening them. We teach everything in the week is based in respect and compassion, not only for everybody else, like, everybody's telling kids, be nice to each other, but also be nice to yourself. And so we are working with the kids about respecting themselves and being kind to themselves. What I tell my kids on day one when we're going through the rules, say, well, in addition to everything for Spirit Camp, Linda has 3 rules. Number 1 is be safe. So you have to be safe. If you're playing outside, you need to be safe. And Linda only gets upset if you're doing something that's going to break one of these 3 rules. So be safe. Number 2 is to be kind and respectful to themselves and to each other. And number 3 is to have fun. So those are my 3 rules for Spirit Camp or anytime I work with children. So we do so many. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask you the ages. I'm not sure that we've mentioned the ages yet.
Yeah, so the ages 5 to 12. And right now I limit it to 10 campers at that location. Right now I have 3 registered. I know there's another one that's going to be registering any moment now. So we still have room for more for sure. And let's see, we do so many other things. We journey. The kids love to journey. So they make a journey mask. And then they journey to meet their power animal. They learn how to work with their power animal. Other crafts, we make a dream catcher, we make a rattle, make so many beautiful spirit tools and learn how to use them. One of my personal favorites, which I think should be the favorite for all the parents, is the talking stick. So we learn about the talking stick, the legend of the talking stick. And basically, if people aren't familiar with the talking stick, if this talking stick is in play, then whoever is holding the talking stick talks and everyone else listens. And so I think it's a wonderful tool for the kids to learn, but also to bring back home and teach their family about respectful communication among the family. They're cute. Some, like, halfway through the week, they'll start saying, Linda, I have the talking stick. And I was like, actually, Linda has the talking stick right now, but let's do that. Let me have it. I'll give it back to you. So it's just so much fun. I know I have one camper coming back this summer that was there last year, and he just can't wait. He wanted to come back every week for the whole summer. It's like, oh, I'm only doing it for 1 week though.
I know it's really exciting to see kids that are so passionate about coming back year after year. I remember one child that came every year, and she said she was going to come every year until she could become a junior counselor. And then she was going to be a junior counselor until she was old enough to go and be a spirit camp teacher. So, I mean, it just speaks to these children who aren't used to being supported in these ways, because this is not mainstream stuff, right?
It is not. And we have children that really haven't necessarily become aware of their special abilities yet. And we have kids that it's just part of their everyday life. So we were doing one of the modules on mindful listening, looking, touching, things like that. And so on one of the exercises, they're laying there outside with their eyes closed and they're listening to everything they can hear. And so when we were talking about that after, so what did you hear? And Joey said, well, I heard a car go by, I heard Linda's energy, and I heard, a butterfly. It's like, okay. And so, I mean, their senses are so strong, and it's embraced in camp
Mhm.
to things that are not necessarily what we would think of as the typical use of our senses.
Right. That is so true because people can see, children can see auras. I'll never forget the time I was talking about auras and a little boy said, "Why didn't anybody ever tell me there's a word for those colors?" So, it's just amazing what comes out as children realize that they have these abilities and these gifts, but they've never really talked about them because they don't have the vocabulary to talk about them. And I
Mhm.
think that's one thing that's a gift that we give not only to the children, but to the families, that the children develop the vocabulary to be able to share more of their spiritual or metaphysical experiences because until they have an awareness of them, they don't know how to talk about if that makes sense. Yes?
It makes absolute sense. I didn't have any awareness of how to talk about these things when I was younger. And quite honestly, I don't think I was necessarily aware of them when I was younger. I have other
Mhm.
members of my family who had gifts that they were aware of, but they weren't aware they were gifts, for example. And so if we had had a camp like this when I was young, a long time ago, perhaps I would have had the opportunity to come out spiritually a little younger. But I'm grateful for where I am at this point in life, regardless.
And it's
Yeah.
so beautiful that you are a mentor for the children who are able to attend your spirit camp because it's such a wonderful way for people to really start, for children to really start tapping into their inner world so they can really become empowered with the tools and the wisdom and the knowledge that you're sharing with them, which will just give them more confidence to show up in their authentic selves as their authentic selves in the world. And gosh, I mean, I think collectively our dream together is that more and more children are able to experience spirit camp so we can support them to show up in the world as their best selves, really confident and um, self-aware. That's going to make a huge difference to them and their lives, but also to the world around us.
Yeah, confident and compassionate all at once. I remember some of the first children I met of Spirit Camp, Ava, when you were doing the online class and you gave me the opportunity to be your assistant for that camp. And oh my goodness, the sweetness of these kids and the compassion. And we're on Zoom, and this was in the middle of the pandemic, and they had to be so tired of Zooming all the time, but they were just typing in the chat really supportive comments to each other, and it warmed my heart. And a place where kids can be compassionate, are honored for that, and it's just so sweet, so sweet.
I know it really is a beautiful program. And I just want to say hi to Jess, Cheryl, and Ed. And I think there are a couple of other people watching. So please go ahead and say hi in the comment section. And if you have any questions, please type them in the comments and I'll make sure that I ask Linda about them.
Yeah,
So Linda, do you work with children in your practice, in your studio that you have right there that you're in?
I
And
do.
would you tell us a little bit about the work you do with children there?
Sure. So a couple of other things in addition to Spirit Camp, I teach one other class. It's called Integrated Energy Therapy for Kids. So for IET, we work with the energy of angels, and so IET for kids, it's actually a half day class where they actually get attuned to the angelic energy of IET. So we're working with angels. They make a pendulum. They learn about how to shift bad feelings to good feelings for themselves, for their friends, and we do it all without touching. And so, we think of traditional energy healing of putting hands on people in different Reiki positions and so forth. But we teach the kids how to do all of that without touching and in kid friendly terminology. So I am doing that class also. That's in October. It's my next offering of that, October 7th. It's all morning that day. And that particular class also you can schedule as a private class. So if you have a group of kids getting together this summer and you're thinking, that would be a fun thing to spend a half day for our kids to spend a half day doing, contact me and we could schedule a private class. But I also do energy work for children. One of
Oh,
my regular clients is 5 now. I've been working with her since she was a newborn. I've worked with mothers, pregnant mothers who are just on the verge of delivering their babies and continuing to occasionally send energy to their toddlers and so forth. So I love that I get to work with children. And so it's kind of the same work I'm doing for the adults, but I just shift my words a little bit, um, tone it down to kids, like things that what's making you scared, instead of like, oh, let's talk about fear, or we talk about stress. It's like, oh, is there something bothering you today? So we just really talk on kid-friendly terms when we talk about that. And of course, it's only with parental permission that I work on our youngsters. If you're under 16 at this point, I look for parental permission. Um,
and are the parents with the children when you're working with the children?
they are. I don't think I've ever had an under 16 left with me. And you can see I'm in my studio now. It's a pretty
Mhm.
comfortable place. And so if they've come in here for the session, mom or dad can get comfortable with a cup of tea, and I can work with their little one on the table back there, or however the child is comfortable. They don't have to lay on the Reiki table if they're not comfortable, but most of them are. I think it's a really cool experience. And yeah, so
That's great.
yeah.
And what about at Spirit Camp? I know some Spirit Camp teachers have allowed parents to come to Spirit Camp to observe what their child is learning. And I wanted to just see if we could have you share a little bit about what your policy is on that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Actually, one of my campers that's coming this year, she's been homeschooled. I think she's about 8 years old, always been homeschooled. And her mother really wanted to sign her up for camp, but also was having a lot of anxiety about being away from her. And I said, "Oh, you can hang out with us for the week if you want to." We just have rules that it's Linda's in charge when we're at camp. So it's more like quietly observing, or perhaps, helping with some of the crafts and things like that. But yeah, they're welcome. They're welcome to stay. Same thing with the class I do here, the IET class for kids. The parents can stay and quietly observe. And um, oh, the things that we do at the end of the week. Yes. So at the end of the IET class, we do an angel wash, and it's like the last 15 minutes of class, and the kids give energy to their parents. That it's like walking through a car wash, but it's angel energy. At the end of Spirit Camp, we do a wonderful closing ceremony with the dispatcher ceremony, and family is invited to come, and the kids get to smudge their parents, their family, as they enter the circle, and it's just a really, really sweet experience. I know one time there was one of my campers' little sister, who was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. He brought his little sisters to sit in the circle with the campers during the closing ceremony. And so really, it's a nice family experience. So much fun. Is that what you do with your camps also, Ava? Do you
Uh,
invite and allow parents in too?
I do, yes, yes. Especially if there's a child that's really anxious. There was a child last year who had a tremendous amount of separation anxiety. She was a homeschooled child as well. I think she was about 7. So her mom came to Spirit Camp with her, and I don't think the child talked for maybe the first day and a half. But then she started opening up and she was completely fine. By the end of the second day, she had kind of found her rhythm and was really comfortable and was able to separate herself from her mom, although she still needed to know where her mom was all the time, but she was much more comfortable, being on the other side of the room or being on the other side of the playground. But I do support parents to come with their children if that's something that is going to make it more comfortable for the child. Yeah. And, I always have said to the parent, I'm okay with you coming, but it's really up to your child. How does your child feel about you coming? Because I've had, parents say, I really want to come to this too. Can I come? And they're not mentioning that their child is having anxiety issues. They just want to come because they want to come. So I make sure that, if the child is comfortable with the parent being there, then of course I'm comfortable with that too. But first and foremost, it's the child's experience. So now, I also do workshops where parents and children can come together and do them. I do a series of workshops called Chakra Shenanigans. I have one in Yarmouth tomorrow, everybody.
Wow,
Chakra Shenanigans at the North Yarmouth Congregational Church from 1 to 3 p.m. So if you are in the area and you want to experience a really fun 2-hour program that is taken directly out of Spirit Camp, come join me for Chakra Shenanigans tomorrow at the North Yarmouth Congregational Church from 1 to 3 p.m. But
that is a fun game.
yeah, it's a
Fun
lot of
event.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And can I just say that I'm doing one more class during
Oh,
April
please.
vacation, everybody, April 12th. I'm doing a grounding class for children. So they understand the importance of connecting to Mother Earth's energy and how that is something that should become a part of their everyday practice. So April 12th at School Street Yoga Studio in Waterville, I'll also be doing a grounding class for children. So I'm offering more and more in-person programs now. So keep watching our website and you'll be able to see what we've got going on.
Wasn't there one other one that we were talking about that's coming up?
Yes, for adults who work with
Yeah.
children, I'm doing
Teachers.
yes. So this is a great class for either teachers, parents, homeschool moms. Oh, this is a really good one for people who homeschool. It's called Cosmic Curriculum for the Spirited Child. It's a workshop I'm running on April 8th. It's a 5-hour block of time, but we're going to do 2 hours from 11 to 1 Eastern, take a break from 1 to 2, and then come back and work from 2 to 4 together. And I'll be sharing 6 different modules that people can use in the work that they're doing with children. We're going to do one on creating wands and what that is all about and what that means. We're going to do one on sensitivity and the clairs, I call them. In this particular workshop, children are going to be learning about sensations and feelings and how all of that energy gets stored in their bodies. And then we'll talk about clairvoyance and clairsentience. There are 5 different clairs that we're going to talk about, which is clear knowing or clear tasting, clear hearing, become beyond the 5 senses. So we'll be talking about the 5 senses, but then we'll be expanding those so that children who are really sensitive can understand some of the gifts that they were born with. And then we're going to go into workshops on the 4 elements and the 4 directions. So we've got 6 modules that we'll be sharing with teachers, parents, and homeschoolers.
That sounds like a wonderful. I wish I wasn't going to be out of town because I would probably pop into that class. And you're doing that online.
Online, April 8th. Yes.
That's
Yes. And
awesome.
all of this information is available on the Dancing Jaguar website. So I'll make sure that I put that in the comment section below Linda's contact information too.
Thank you. And you were asking about where people can find the information on the class. So I will be putting my website information, but my camp is on Ava's website. And
Mhm.
if by chance Southern Maine, that third week of June isn't convenient for you and want to send your kids to camp, I think there are some other camps this summer listed as well, Ava.
There are. I'm doing one in Yarmouth in August, this second week of August. And then there are camps in Belmont. I'm also doing a camp in Bangor in July. I'm doing one in Fairfield in June. So there are camps scattered kind of all around the state of Maine. And then there are spirit camps in other states now. There are a couple in North Carolina, a number in Oregon, Seattle. I can't remember where else off the top of my head. Oh, Wisconsin. I will be in Wisconsin the end of August doing a spirit camp there. So check the website and you'll be able to find hopefully a location near you. And if not, then maybe you need to become a spirit camp teacher so you can offer one in your community.
The training is amazing. The training is
Oh,
amazing.
thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. So what else do we have
Is
to
there
cover?
anything else that you would like to share with anyone about your work with children or any upcoming things that you have going on in your practice?
I think we've pretty well covered it. One other thing that I do want to say, so I have my beautiful studio here. Sometime this fall, I am actually going to be moving to another location. It's about 3 miles from here. And once I move, I'll have all kinds of outdoor space as well. Right now, I am limited, and that's part of why I do the camp at the Unity Church. But once I move to the new location, we have like 20 acres, wooded trails and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that shift to support the kids, the adults, the everybody, um, sometime later this year.
Beautiful. Thanks, Linda.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Well, thank you for being here. And as I mentioned before, everyone, Linda's links will be in the comment section below. And I will put the Dancing Jaguar website down below as well. So thank you for being here, everyone. And I'll let you know when we have another Facebook Live coming up.
Thank you so much, Ava. Thank you, everybody.